Hi, my name is Matthew Scott. I was born and raised in the church, and my dad, Bob Scott, he and my mom moved to town in 1973, and they started attending Alamo Heights United Methodist back on Broadway. Church quickly became a home for them, and the people of the church quickly became family, and with that, they made a lot of their friends through the church. As the church grew, my dad would always joke about, what was it, why was it that y'all looked at moving? And the first thing he would say is we didn't. We wanted to grow where we were planted, and we tried to do that for a long time. And people would ask him, why did you know it was time to grow? And the joke was always, we couldn't fit the entire church family in for dinner in the activities hall. There was a lot of consternation over that, of whether we should move, because we loved the home on Broadway. It was everyone's home. So y'all have heard the stories where we have an all-church meeting in the sanctuary, and it's kind of split on which way it's going to go. And then famously, Earl Odell stands up and says, I was born and raised in this church. I was baptized in this church. I was married in this church. All my kids have grown up in this church. And he identified the pew that was his family's pew that he grew up on. He said, the reason we sat there is it had a good cross breeze during the Sunday service, and everyone laughed. And Earl made the point that it was the faithfulness of the generations before that had given us the gift of Broadway. And we needed to be faithful and step out and follow God and provide for the future generations in the same way. And with that, turned the tide of that meeting, and the congregation voted to move to Broadway. I asked my dad at one point, how was that? And he said it was really fun to see how the whole church came together in that. And he would always fondly talk about Carol Bray, kind of getting all the feedback from the parents on what was needed for classrooms for kids and classrooms for youth, and organizing and mobilizing a lot of that. And a lot of it was really bringing the family together to say, what do we need, and what does this look like, and how can we be faithful to God here? And then obviously Dr. Hooper was amazing in staying on for the move, continues near the end of his career. He committed to staying on so we could make the move to Basse, and he continued to shepherd the church into the first year. And then Magnitsky comes after that first year on the campus. Dick Harder, who is the chief of staff under Hooper, did a huge task in pulling all that together and keeping it going. So, it was something that my dad really loved. And I asked him one time, how was that committee work? And he said, it was hard because you're getting everybody on the same page and coming together. But he said it's very fulfilling because you're meeting people from the church you wouldn't otherwise know. And once you serve on those committees together, you're friends for life. And when you see them on Sunday morning, you know each other's families and their children and what they do, and you can really check in on them. And that was the kind of life Dad had. He lived in a small town growing up, so he was used to knowing everyone. So I think events like that made the world a smaller place and really brought the church together, which is part of what he loved. And he always loved this place. He would come in and it would be like home to him. And one of the things I love about the church is you're not in the door very long before you're greeted by someone that you know, and in our case, has known us most of our lives. And providing a place where people and families can come and have that experience, I can say personally changes your life forever. For as long as I've known Alamo Heights United Methodist Church, it's been a place that stands for making disciples of Jesus Christ in this community. And that hasn't changed over the entire life of this place, and this campus has played a small part in doing that.